YouTube. Oh my word. I haven't sat this low since I was in kindergarten. I know it's hard to believe that I was in kindergarten, but I was. AM Minnesota today, Ken Kengas, Megan Proft are in studio. We're going to talk about Rice County Habitat for Humanity. They have their Raise the Roof Fundraiser coming up this Sunday at the Faribault American Legion. You never get a bad meal there. Delicious turkey with all the trimmings. It's on the meal. Oh my. Speaking of meals, I need to thank Ken publicly here. And he brought me a blueberry pie. How nice was that? Thanks, Ken.
You're welcome.
Very nice. You heard me talking this morning about Maine having their dessert is blueberry pie.
Yes.
Did you ever find out if we have one?
We don't have a national dessert, no,
We don't
or a
have
state dessert.
We don't have a dessert for Minnesota.
And I heard Gordy was leaving. He was saying goodbye to John, so I thought, well, we'll keep him here a little longer. I'll bring him a blueberry pie as a bribe.
Yeah, I said I was going to go to Maine because it's blueberry pie is their not national, but their state dessert.
Yes.
Maine state. We don't have a state dessert.
It's a shame.
Well, don't you think we should have the apple pie?
That makes sense.
Caramel apple.
Ooh.
Well, now you're getting really specific. Well, that's Minnesotan, isn't it?
Yes, it
apple
is.
Pie. We have
Yes,
a lot
it
of
is.
apple orchards.
We've come up with a lot of different varieties of apples that were created right here at the extension system in Minnesota.
Is there a dessert on this meal on Sunday?
Oh yes, there are many desserts.
Oh, that's right. You have a dessert auction.
Yes, so we do a dessert auction. Pies, bars. Last year we had a candy bar tree, all sorts of good stuff that you can bid on. So, and it gets heated. The bidding can get really competitive.
I suppose if I was a really good guy, I would tell you to keep that pie and put it on the auction.
No, that's for you, Gordy. That is for you.
That would be a tough one for me to do, to be honest. Blueberry is my all-time
He didn't
favorite
really
pie.
mean it that about giving it up anyway.
No, I would.
No, that's fine. We have a lot of pies, so.
All right,
Thank you for the offer.
We'll look forward to it. We'll share it with some of our coworkers. Typically, I don't
Jerry.
do that. So, you know, it's the kindergarten thing. It's got me back in the sharing mood. We're talking about Rice County Habitat for Humanity's fundraiser this weekend. This is your largest fundraiser, isn't it, Megan?
It is, and it's an annual event. People really look forward to this one. So yeah, it's definitely one of our biggest though.
One of the biggest or the biggest?
The biggest.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
definitely.
I thought.
Yeah.
For all of Rice County.
Yep, for all of Rice County. It's held here in Faribault, but we cover Nearstrand, Northfield, Morristown, Dundas, the whole Rice County area.
Yeah, and I think didn't they flip it for a few years, tried to get it at a couple different locations?
We did have it at the Northfield Legion for 2 years,
Yes.
3 years maybe, and we've been at the Faribault Legion since that time. I think this is the 14th annual one. We did have a couple before that, one at Casey's, one at a different site, but as far as the larger separate dinner, this is the 14th annual.
And how old is Rice County's Habitat chapter?
We were founded in 1991, did our first home in 93. So
This
gotta do
is
the
our
math on
silver
that.
anniversary.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Silver is.
What do you get for silver? Paper?
We get to build 2 more homes.
Yeah, there you go.
Where are you building those?
We're building on Short Street, just off Willow as you head south. It's a small site. We'll be demolishing a home there and building a new one. And the site in Northfield is?
We haven't confirmed sites yet, but we are going to build in Faribault. In addition to the Short Street home, we'll build in Faribault and then in Dundas probably.
Dundas,
So
okay.
yeah, that's where we have lots, and that's right now where we're probably going to settle in on the families that we have.
Ooh.
They're not confirmed yet. Hopefully that announcement will come on Sunday night. So.
Oh my.
Yes.
A little teaser there. Yeah. So make sure you get on over, folks. People can still get their tickets. They can just call you. They can leave a message, say how many they want, show up at the door, and pay for them right there.
You got it. They could also just come on the night of. We'll have some extra tickets there, but we do encourage people to make a reservation if possible so that we know who's coming.
Yeah, you want to count. You want to know how
It's
many
good to
people
have
to
a
plan
count.
for.
That's right.
Yeah.
I am on the Habitat board for the 21st year, so.
Isn't that something? Who recruited you? Is it Mr. Sarter?
No, I know. It started, I was from church. I was the head of a committee called Global Missions and Social Concerns. And Harry Voss, now deceased, and I were looking, we were trying to narrow down what we could focus on because there's 8,000 things directions you could go. So one of the things we chose was Habitat for Humanity, and that's how we got involved.
Yeah, I think most of the churches are involved in this, aren't they?
Many of them are, yes. We try to connect with all of them. Some are more actively participating than others, but we're connected with all of them.
It seems like a good fit.
It does, and I think especially this year we're hoping that we can find a lead person at many churches who will maybe put together a crew of 8 or 10 or 12 and commit to maybe one work day on site, for example. That would really help with the volunteer on-site situation.
Are you having problems getting volunteers, Megan?
Not problems. Last year I was very new when the build started.
Sure.
So kind of getting my pace and figuring things out takes sometimes a year to just get the flow of the organization. So I think this year will be more successful. But yeah, we still did have a lot of wonderful people come out, a lot of good groups, and some people in Northfield, some realtors, and all sorts of great people in getting engaged. So, and this year will just be even better.
Well, it was unexpected, the passing of a warrior for
Yes.
Habitat.
A very, yeah, a presence that was very much missed, I think, last year.
Don't you, Ken, think that Bill was really missed?
Oh, he had so many connections. He knew so many people, and Bill had a way about him that you couldn't say no to him. And he did it in a very nice way.
Oh, yeah.
But if he called 12 people to come to work, 12 people showed up. And if he dealt with a new business, by the time he was through talking with them, they probably were committing to some gift in kind designation from them. But and he was a good worker. He on site, he worked so well with volunteers. He made them feel good by the time they left the work site that day. And he was very skilled himself, so he was a good mentor, teacher, and I think the greatest thing, he brought passion to Habitat. That was his greatest asset.
Yeah, he might have been the biggest champion of Habitat.
I believe so, yes.
And that's why last year, I know he was really missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was planning for the Habitat already in, December.
It was around the year, in gear for him.
It was
So,
year-round for him.
yes.
So you just don't replace somebody like that.
No, but I guess it's like everything else, like on sports teams, somebody else has to step up to the plate, and we have had an active fundraising committee. Jenny, Bill's partner for over 50 years, is actively involved and has the same enthusiasm that Bill had. So. And their family is still involved in this, so, and there will be others that step up to the plate here, so, but we still will miss Bill.
Yep, that's fantastic. In fact, you've done something in his memory, right? At Habitat?
We just did an ice golf event, actually, that was a benefit in honor of Bill, and that was very successful. Out at Windjam's, a couple put it on for us, and Maggie and Jason DeMaris did that event, and it was a nice way to remember him. Their son played in a band, and they did a nice, nice music for the event. So that was a good way to do a little bit of honoring of him.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a lot of ice.
Right, it was like 55. I came home with a sunburn, but what are you gonna do? Well, they made it work. Everyone had a good time.
Maybe it's a windburn from skating so fast.
Right, there you go. Yeah.
But it was a good turnout.
It was a good turnout, yeah. It's an annual event. It just rotates who is the charity. So there's people who look forward to it, I think, every year.
Yep. Yeah, we had them on the airwaves here on our AM Minnesota show talking about it. I felt bad that they really didn't have much for ice.
What are you gonna do?
But maybe it benefited in terms of turnout too, with the warmth,
True.
Could have, yeah.
you know? So Raise the Roof, again, it comes on Sunday, 5:30 social hour, 6:15 dinner, turkey and all the trimmings. Can you tell me about some of the items that you have on your silent or
We have,
silent auction?
The silent auction, yeah, we'd love to. Our silent auction is going to be some of the typical items, you have wine baskets, weekend getaways, things like that. But we also have this year, instead of a live auction, we're doing a specialty table. So these will be the higher end, more interesting items, higher priced items, but they're really some cool things going to be at that table. And I know Ken has copious notes to
Oh, okay,
explain these
sure.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful items.
Oh, that's right, I see lots of them.
a few of the things that will be on the special table, there's a Flamingo Palace 1 week stay in Chautauqua, Wisconsin, 1 week stay in a resort on a lake.
Oh, my.
The people that have been there in the past have just loved it. We again have an Antarja artwork crafted by Dale Kelm this year featuring a mule. So if you have some mulish friends, this would be a good gift to buy for them perhaps. There is, Bill had arranged a fishing trip for a busload of people from Faribault the last several years to a Temple Bay resort in Canada. So they have that fishing location has donated a certificate for a 4-day fishing trip, including transportation, lodging, meals, everything, worth $849. So maybe somebody else will pick up on arranging for that fishing trip, which they just had loads of fun.
How
Of
many
course-
people?
Pardon?
How many people in this?
There was a busload. This one is a certificate for one person.
Okay.
Yeah, but Bill had a busload, and guess who usually won the prizes for all of the fishing contests? Bill Sarter. First fish, biggest fish.
That sounds like that.
Yes, yeah, he was a little competitive.
Yes.
We do have a sculpture by widely acclaimed local wood carver Marv Kaiser said. I'm picking that up today at 1. Have a half-hour plane ride for 3 by Frank Ullman. He's donated this the last 4 years maybe.
What kind of a plane is it?
I hope it's one that stays up for at least half an hour. I don't know what type. I suppose I don't know much about planes.
Oh, okay.
But it's,
Biplane.
yeah, it would be 3 people plus, I guess Frank does the piloting, so. Then the Sarter family is putting together a patio beer cooler with a generous collection of assorted beers. I just bought my donation to that yesterday. And there's an antique, maybe you can talk about that antique stand.
Sure, there's an antique, vintage, handcrafted, hand-carved, kind of a wash stand. It's a small cabinet piece, but it's quite a beautiful antique piece that we're going to have donated by Ken and Ann Greger, which is very, very nice to have an antique piece. People love to collect these pieces.
So this is one of those old roller washers?
No, this is
the
a stand. A stand, a wooden, I think it's oak.
It could be.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And then we have a beautiful birdhouse crafted by Dale Smith, and we have a quilt that is done by the Peacemaker group in Faribault and donated by Barb Wagner, I believe. And the theme of the quilt is houses. So those are some of the things that we'll have on this specialty table. So instead of that live auction, we hope that people will often visit and raise their bids on these higher priced items.
So this is a change from past?
This is a change from past, yeah. We're going to see how this works.
Got live music, I see. Who's performing?
Herb Selner, he's done our music for several years, just great background music, gets people kind of in the mood for the night. So he'll be doing the music again.
And he loves doing that.
Wonderful
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh. Have you ever heard his jazz group?
I haven't.
Oh, man, are they good.
Is that right?
Love jazz.
My favorite church service at our church, Christ Lutheran, up on the east side of town, is when
Oh, they do a jazz church?
Herb and his group I think they call it the cat's meow or something like that.
Okay, no, I have not had the pleasure.
They can really play.
Is
I
that
love
right?
that.
And that's, I always say that's what should be intended for,
Yes.
you know, for hymns is toe tapping.
Yes.
Worship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebration.
Well, they have polka masses and they have different kinds of non-traditional services with celebrate bands and so forth. Thing I like about Herb, you can just see how much he enjoys music, just watching him. Smile on his face all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun to watch someone who really enjoys what they're doing.
Yep, and
he
he's
does.
good at it too.
Yes, yes, he is.
And his guys too, that are involved. But you're getting the solo act of Herb.
We got the solo act.
Yes,
Yep,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He does a nice job.
He really does.
Mhm.
And that's at the Faribault American Legion. The, see, you got anything else going on?
Well, we're mostly right now, after this event, we're gonna be prepping for our build season, probably is where we'll refocus things. But for the actual event, the only other piece that we haven't mentioned is a 50-50 raffle. So you buy a ticket, and at the end of the night, we'll split the pot 50-50 with whoever the winner is.
That simple.
Yeah.
That's
One
simple.
other thing we do have, we've done this, I think this is the third year, we have a matching board. We have one former Habitat board member who has donated $2,500. The present board members are matching that $2,500, so it'll be $5,000. People can give a donation, sign the board up there, and hopefully we'll be able to match the $5,000 that is on the board already. So when I've been out selling tickets and soliciting, I've had a number of people who have just given a cash donation or check, and I have asked them if it's okay if I just put it on that matching board. So that's where many of those cash donations will go.
Again, the builds are in Faribault and Dundas this year.
Yes.
Faribault and Dundas.
Yep.
I was just looking at this housing study, which was on your website,
Oh, sure.
Rice County Habitat website. It's a 2012 housing study, so it's getting a little old. But some very interesting information there. For example, I did not know that the median household income, this is in 2010, highest was in Dundas.
Oh.
The lowest in the highest in Lonsdale, median household income Lonsdale, $65,494, 2010, and in Faribault had the lowest at $45,324.
There's definitely a need for affordable housing in Rice County, and I mean, those kind of numbers speak volumes. And there's also a really great impact study that Habitat Minnesota did about the effects of the partner families getting into a home. So take a look at that one too. It's very interesting to see people reporting their health improving, education improving. But yeah, there's a definite need in our communities.
The median home sales price in 2011 ranged from $175,000 in Dundas to $87,285 in Morristown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any homes in Morristown?
We do.
We
Yep.
have two.
Two. We have some lots in Morristown, so if anyone listening is thinking about applying for Habitat, we certainly would love to put them in Morristown. We have some lots that need a home.
I think we have 4 more lots over there.
I think 6. Actually.
6,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I know you've had kind of a Habitat neighborhood in Nearstrand. You know,
Right.
and neighbors that are
4 in a row
Habitat
there.
homes, right?
Yeah.
Am I right there?
On the east side, yes.
That land was donated by, oh geez, I
Right across the street.
can't remember her name. All I know is she's one of my heroes.
Yes, she is, and a wonderful lady. She used to come over and with her car and have lunch in the trunk, serve lunch to the crew. And one of her favorite things as a follow-up to that, she got hugs from all of the workers there, and she loved
Oh, yeah.
those hugs. You know, I know this is terrible. I should know her name too.
Well, I should too.
Begins with an O, but I can't.
It's gonna drive me crazy all day.
Yeah, yeah. But she was wonderful, and she still has served as a mentor to some of the kids who kind of look to her as a grandma.
Yeah. Right.
They go over and visit with her, and she's been a mentor to them. So she was a wonderful donor and a wonderful grandma, let me say.
Well, I remember interviewing her when she first announced the donation.
Yes.
And asking her, you know, why she did it. Something to the effect of, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
You know, it's the right thing to do.
And I really apologize for not remembering
Me
her
too.
name, because she's a beautiful person, and I'm sorry that my age
might think
does
of it
not
before you-
allow me to remember her.
Well, what's my excuse? I guess I'm getting old too.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Raise the Roof dinner, maybe she'll be there, is on Sunday.
Could be.
Sunday, May 1st, 5:30 social hour, and again, you can call 507-744-2933 to reserve a ticket, right, Megan?
Yes.
Or you can call Bruce Schaefer or Jenny Sarter in town.
Oh, okay. Bruce has been by here a number of times. And Bruce, if you're listening, you guys got the check,
Yes,
right?
yes,
That's right.
yes. One thing I'd like to mention is how many people that we have helped here. We have worked with 40 partner families since we started.
Isn't that amazing?
37 new houses, 2 Brush with Kindness where there was some fix-up, and 1 rehab in Northfield on a townhome. 36 of those families are still in their homes. 53 adults have been part of partner family, 95 children for a total of 148 people. And I think what touches most volunteers and anybody involved with Habitat is the effect that this has on the children. Really a positive effect in schooling, security, just everything. And it's fun watching them anticipate the new build.
Well, Ken, you and I probably take for granted the fact that we have a roof over our head, right?
Exactly.
Right, Megan? You
That's-
probably likewise.
You forget that it's not I mean, it's a luxury. It's a wonderful thing.
It's not a given for everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it should be.
It should be. There are a lot of things, you know, you think of how great this country is now, and you think of the housing shortage, you think of the food shortage, you think of homelessness, all of those things that shouldn't really be happening here. But they are, and we need to be part of dealing with them.
Yes. And homelessness is an issue in Rice County, right, Megan?
It definitely is, yep. And we don't have, well, Northfield doesn't have a homeless shelter. I mean, there's a lack there too, and so we don't work necessarily with homeless people directly, but there are great organizations working toward that end, and we're glad we're a part of the bigger picture of housing needs.
Actually, our executive director, Dana Norvold, is on that homeless committee that meets monthly, I think, at First English. So we're kind of indirectly involved
Sure.
with that.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Right.
So again, you can see this, it's pretty lengthy. I mean, I didn't print out all the pages, or I would have run out of paper and cartridges in I mean, there's a lot of pages here.
Yeah. A lot of information
Should
out there.
we
That's
give the
wonderful.
website?
Yep, habitatricecounty.org. That summary is on there that Gordy's been referring to.
Yep.
More information about Raise the Roof as well on the website.
The thing I found interesting too was the housing condition analysis, which found that of the 2,132 single-family homes that they surveyed in 6 Rice County cities, 41% in good condition. That's less than half.
Yes.
Scary.
44% needed minor repairs, 13% major repairs, and 1.3% are dilapidated and beyond repair.
Yes. And we have dealt with some of those where it was questionable, you know, if they should have been living in those
Yes.
places even. So.
The Brush with Kindness program, I think, is an excellent idea.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys still doing that?
right now we're not, just because of our infrastructure and capacity, but it's something that we definitely could do again and would do again. So
Well, what I was thinking was, in my little tiny brain, is, you know, seniors, we want to keep them living in their homes.
Sure.
We go help them with some projects around the house that they can't do because, you know.
Yeah, it isn't that we've forgotten that program. It's kind of on the back burner now, and once we get re-geared, we probably will get involved with that Brush with Kindness again. So
Sounds terrific. So again, folks, the dinner is this Sunday, May 1st. That's May Day.
It
May Day,
is.
yes.
Did you give May baskets when you were a kid?
We did
We
in
ran through our whole
grade
neighborhood.
school, yes. In grade school, we did that. I went to a country school up north.
I think that's kind of gone by the wayside.
I think so.
I don't know if many people do that anymore, but I remember we used to run to the whole neighborhood and give
Oh, yeah.
baskets.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you have a maypole pole too that you twirled around, or?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
But they may have.
Yeah. No, we did that back in country grade school, so.
Wow. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota. On KDHL AM in Faribault, Minnesota, we're scheduled to bring you a Faribault Falcon doubleheader today at Rochester Century High School. I'll get underway about 3:45 this afternoon. KDHL AM, Faribault, Minnesota.